Hey, we know it can be frustrating to find accurate wiring and compatibility information online. You've tried Google and you get conflicting information, or worse, you order the recommended parts and they don't fit. You've searched the forums and can't find information specific to your model or year. AutoHarnessHouse.com has solved this problem. Check out our vehicle wiring and compatibility database for professionally verified wiring information, including connector pinouts, pictures, steering wheel control wiring information, dash kit compatibility, and links to all the parts you'll need to install your head unit successfully the first time. Visit AutoHarnessHouse.com/mycar to download vehicle-specific information for your car. This tool will give you the information you need for your specific version of your specific model. Alright, so in this video we're going to be installing this ATOTO S8 head unit in our 2013 BRZ. We normally prefer to install Pioneer or name brand head units like that, but we've had a lot of requests for these units, and so we've also built a direct adapter for them, similar to what we do for Pioneers and Sonys. So it's got all of your Subaru or Toyota connectors on this end, and then it's got the ATOTO connector and the antenna connector on the other end. And so it basically makes the entire install plug and play. And so for this video, as I said, we have the S8 head unit, which is one of ATOTO's newer head units. And this is probably one of the cheapest ways that you can install a navigation system in your Toyota or Subaru. And so that's why we're doing this video, is just to show you how to install it, how to use our direct wire adapter, and also to just give you an idea of what it takes to do that install. Alright, so now we're in the car. We're going to remove this fascia that goes around the outside of the head unit. So to do that, we're going to use our pry tool. I recommend using a pry tool because it'll prevent you from damaging the plastic inside your car. I've linked in the description of this video to the set of pry tools that I have. So we need to try to find a corner where we can kind of wedge this in. Pop this plastic out from around the side of the head unit. And you just kind of run this along the edge there. As you see, there are clips around the four corners of this, right there, right there. And set that aside. And then these bolts that are on the side of the radiator, there's four of them. There's one in each corner. They're all 10mm bolts. So I've just got a 10mm nut driver and break each one of these loose. And then we just got to be very careful not to drop the nuts or the bolts back in the cavity behind the head unit, especially these lower ones that are hard to get to. Take the bottom ones out first so that make sure I don't drop them. Slide the head unit out and disconnect all the connectors along the back. Okay, so I just wanted to go through, this is the correct dash kit that we've got installed. This is the SOS dash kit on the head unit here. And there's a bit of a fitment issue here, and so you can see there's like some space in between because of these little screws that are on the side. And so the way that we fit these is we can take I'll show you these screws real quick. So you can see those three screws that are sitting right here on the very top here, right there, right there, and right there. They're causing a bit of a interference with this, and so they're causing this whole bracket to be spaced out. And so what that's doing is it's making it so that when we put these side panels on for the dash kit, it causes it to bow and it'll cause this whole thing to kind of tilt out because of those screws there. And you can still make it fit. So here's the panel, face panel for the radio. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna line that up, and then we're gonna fit this on here like this and kind of force it in there a little bit, and then so we won't tighten the screws up on the side of this until we get that lined up the way we want it. So it's okay this way, but it's just causing a little bit of, at least to put some pressure on the outsides of this bracket. If you wanted to, you could also you could file down on the inside of this kit, file down where the screws go to make it fit a little bit more securely, or use washers on these side screws here. Alright, and we're back in the car, and we're going to put this unit in. And so as you can see, we have our ATOTO direct wire adapter here, and so it plugs directly into the back of the head unit. AM/FM adapter plugs in, and then we have AM/FM connectors, rear speakers, front speakers and power and illumination, and then this is the 28 pin connector, which would normally connect to the steering wheel controls if we had them. Also connects the reverse signal. So all that stuff will connect normally in. This connector won't be used. It's a connector that connects between our other backup camera adapters and things like that and the ATOTO unit. And so if you have a backup camera, if you've got a newer model BRZ or something like that, that adapter will plug in there. So installing it is as simple as that. We will have to put the Wi-Fi antenna and the GPS antenna for the ATOTO unit in. And so we'll have to run that. I haven't run it yet. So for now, I'll just show you how to mount the head unit, and then we can come back later and do the antennas. So that whole thing will slide in just as the other one slid out. And so it should fit basically with those brackets in the same locations. And then we're just going to screw it into place, just like we had the old one in there. Now, this will be kind of the tricky part, because we have to get those little wings to fit into the edge of this before to kind of push them into the center, and so that they can fit this piece in around it. And so you just have to kind of force them over. That's because of that interference issue that I was just telling you about. And so it all connects, and that all looks good. And so then we'll turn the car on, or at least turn it to accessory so that the head unit can come on. There we go. So I like to, when I test these, I like to pan it to one side and the other and make sure that all the speakers individually are working. And so what I'll do here is I'll take it's an equalizer settings sound field, so you can take it and pan it up, pan it over in the back. So that's just to make sure that we know that all the speakers are working properly. So you've got a lot of neat little settings. You can do different equalizer settings, and it's got the Google Maps and everything else. It's not too bad feature-wise, and it's pretty responsive when you click on different things here. All right, so in the garage we showed you, this is the ATOTO S8 head unit, and it has these screws that go on the sides here, and those 6 screws are what basically causes these wings of the dash kit to pop out, and makes it difficult to fit it into the BRZ bezel that we have here. And so, just to demonstrate, this is the ATOTO A6 head unit, and it has a similar problem with the screws that hold the screen on interfering, to where these little wings will not fit correctly into the bezel here. You have to kind of force them in, and so if you push them together, it does the same thing as the S8 does, where basically they'll fit, but they do press against the outside of that bezel. So ideally, you probably would want to Dremel around where those holes are, or those screws are, or drill out a hole there so that this plastic isn't continuously pressured. I'll show you where those screws are here. So it's these two screws right here that are keeping it from fitting properly. You can't take them out because they hold the screen in, but there's two of them on each side, and they basically cause this piece, as it fits in, there's like some pressure on it here when it fits into place correctly. And just to show you how it's supposed to fit, here we have a Pioneer DMH W4660 next, which is a slick head unit. It's a Pioneer head unit. It's a lot more expensive, but as you can see, you don't have this that interference there when you put it on the side here. There's not, the side panels are flat, or the screws that are in it are indented, so you don't have to you don't have that issue with it not fitting properly on the side. So both sides of the head unit will fit the way they're supposed to on this DMH head unit. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. You can go to our website at autoharnesshouse.com or email us at inquiry@autoharnesshouse.com if you have any questions. We'd be happy to provide support, and we have plug-and-play adapters for most Subarus and Toyotas. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.